I'm Suchet Ketkar. I am in mechanical and I'm head of drivetrain. Currently we are working on this year's robot and it's very similar to this. It's a gear drive. Current plans for the rest of the year, as of this season, is going to be continuing to upgrade this thing as far as possible, as well as continue to refine my designs for future drivetrains. Last year we used tank treads, which is a pre-built system. This year is a completely custom-made gear drive. So that means it requires a full new design techniques using CAD, and frankly, it's quite a bit harder.
All right. So what's your name and what are you working on?
My name's Alex Heidley, and I am working on the flywheel and turret mechanism. So for the last week, we have kind of been building this box and the prototype of the flywheel. It is not quite to spec or anything. It's not going to be on the actual robot. It's just a proof of concept of can we make a flywheel consistent. So for the rest of the year, we have to develop the mechanism that rotates the turret on top and the mechanism that will move the hood and adjust the angle the ball shoots at. Last year, we had to design a catapult, which was a completely different mechanism and arguably a little bit easier and a little bit harder in some aspects. This one, the difference is we have to shoot about 4 to 5 balls a second to be efficient in this year's game.
I'm Sean Mocker and I'm on the climbing department. We've been prototyping with using Velcro and yarn and paracord, as well as testing using placements of where the climber mechanism will go. Finish and perfect, hopefully, the climbing mechanism, and then help out other departments where needed.
My name is Carter Herman, and my department is gear intake and ball intake. The last 2 weeks we've been figuring out some measurements for the game pieces and how we want to fit them into our robot, and then we've been prototyping mechanisms to accomplish scoring objectives. We want to effectively be able to do an automatic or passive gear system, and then be able to intake balls into our hopper, and ideally, as a team, I'd like to get us to Einstein.
My name is Connor Como, I'm head of the strategy department. I've been designing and strategizing our bot for this year's game. I think it's going to require a lot more scouting, a lot more basically forethought when it comes to planning out our tactics on the field. Even though the game pieces that most teams are probably going to focus on with gears, since we're focusing on fuel, I think that's going to give us an edge, so probably the fuel.
I'm Justin and I'm in charge of the hopper. So we've been working on a proof of concept which hasn't been going too well. It took us a few days to decide what exactly we want to do, and now we're just ordering parts and waiting for them to come in. So basically we want to get a larger version of this where we have polyurethane belting on this side and tubing running on the side to push the balls up through our robot to the top where the turret shoots them out. Well, last year we didn't really need a hopper because you could only hold one ball, so we have a lot of inexperience in this mechanism because we haven't really had to transport a lot of balls in the last few years, considering stronghold and recycle rush didn't really require you to build up a lot of something in a robot. So this has been interesting figuring out how exactly we want to get 50 balls from the bottom of our robot to the top in just a few seconds.
My name is Matthew Gale. I'm head of electrical. Well, for the last week we've been sorting all of our wires, and I've been designing a CAD file for the entire electrical board. Once we're done with CADing and figuring out what sizes we need for the electrical board, there's pretty much we just need to build it and work with the other departments to make it all fit. Well, last year we were exceptionally unorganized, so I hope this year we're going to be able to...
We will try our best.
Yeah.
So my name is Nathaniel Liebel and I'm in charge of the programming team. Over the last week we've been trying to get PID working on one of our test drivetrains, and we've also had a few of our members trying to get last year's robot running so drivers can practice on it. So from last year we're working on investing a lot of resources into teaching our new programmers, including a lot of personal involvement, and we're also trying to integrate a lot of industry standard best practices to try and improve our workflow, our processes. And we're also focusing on clean design as well, and basically we're working on a team project where we're building a library of reusable components to save ourselves time in the future. So our plans for the rest of the year is to get computer vision working, among other things, so that we can make our turret point at the target, but we're also trying to You know, there's a lot of pieces that are currently moving, so we still don't exactly know full on what we're going to do, but motion profiling is going to be a big deal this year, and that is one of our biggest focuses.